Welcome to our press conference with LFC Women head coach Gareth Taylor ahead of Sunday's trip to Manchester to face Manchester City in the WSL. Mostly online today, and we'll start there. And as always, we'll start with BBC Radio Merseyside and Ian Kennedy. Ian?
Thank you. Hi, Gareth.
Hi,
just first of all, team news. Is Ceri okay? How are you looking?
Yeah, Ceri's okay. I mean, unfortunately, we had to take her off in the last game because we kind of knew that was always going to be the case. Unfortunately, you want to keep her on in that game because you feel like she's been really key to everything that we've done well over this period of games. But yeah, she's okay. Gemma and Lucy Parry are still a few weeks away. Obviously, mentioned previously about Martha Thomas is got to be push and go before the end of the season. Sam Kerr is back in training, but she's got to get up to speed with a lot more training volume before she can be considered. And outside of that, pretty much everyone is where we were.
How much of a jolt was it last week? Because you've been on a good run. You've had a bit of momentum in League and Cup as well. Was it a bit of a disappointment last weekend?
Yeah, huge disappointment. Yeah, huge. And I think the good thing is for us is like we're really disappointed. The players were disappointed as well. We knew that we were off colour a little bit. I think there were some parts of the game which improved, of course, and we pretty much dominated the play, but we made a slow start. And when we did get into our gear, we never really worked their goalkeeper enough. So I think as much as it was disappointing, I think, you know, with what happened to Leicester earlier in the week against Arsenal, it more or less confirmed our status. And I think great credit to the players, because where we were before Christmas, we were in a really difficult moment. We were really struggling to make any type of substitutions. We had no real attacking substitutions. We obviously brought players into the club in January, and that's really helped us to be where we are now. So I think great credit to the players, because it wasn't a pretty picture before the break at Christmas, and the players have worked tremendously hard. The form's been really good. But like you said, it was a bit of a reality check and a bit of a jolt at last weekend, because I still feel it shows us for what we are a little bit, in a sense of, yeah, we made really good steps, but there's a lot more work to come.
And I think you were talking about needing to improve on winning the individual duels within the game. Is that something you focused on this week?
Duels are. If you're going to lose a game, you don't want it to be for the nitty gritty of the game, which every game you have to earn the right to then play your football, and we didn't do that well enough. When it became a game of duels, West Ham did it better than us. There's no doubt. So that's the annoying part, because I feel that that's an area that we've been really good in, and then it's allowed us a platform to then build on our game. So yeah, frustrations from it, and hopefully the players can use that fuel in the right way this week. Feel like training's been really good. And we know the opponent we're playing against at the weekend is really strong, but we've certainly identified some areas that we can potentially hurt them in.
Yeah, which no doubt Brighton did, because they beat them last time out, I suppose. So they're not infallible, are they, Manchester City? If you go into it with the right attitude, have a bit of luck and play well, you can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it shows the strength of the WSL. You know, teams can take points from one another. And yeah, I think it's a difficult season. It's a long season. There's pressure on every game for every club in different ways. Their form has been obviously pretty solid. I know they drew more recently with Aston Villa, and then obviously went to Brighton, which isn't an easy place to go to. And Brighton, on their day, can beat anyone.
Yeah, but I guess it's a chance for your team to test themselves against the team that's at the top of the table. And you were talking about the relief of, and having that platform now for next season, knowing about your status. And these are the kind of tests that will possibly show what you need to do long term to get yourselves back up at the other end of the table.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the idea. I think you can always get I feel like the league is split a little bit, in the sense of there's obviously like the top 4 teams, and I think there's like this next kind of 5 to 7 of, at the moment, Spurs, Brighton, London City, then there's the rest. And I think that challenge for us is to get closer to where we want to be, and it's not something that you can flick a switch and really jump so many categories within a season. So we understand the process is unfortunately longer, because we're not patient as coaches. We want to improve, we want to get better, and we want the team to improve and get better. But I have to say, I feel from when I look at it from where we were to where we are now, there's been a lot of improvements on and off the pitch at this club. We just want that process to be quicker, and we'll continue to strive to get better, and the girls are giving everything that they can.
Thanks, Gareth. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Rachel O'Sullivan goes on the ball. Rach.
Hi, Gareth.
Hi,
I know obviously Manchester City have a lot of individual threats, if you like, but maybe away from the players, one of their threats is from corners. They've scored twice as many as any other team this season. You guys have conceded from sticks. I just wonder, is that a particular area you've looked on in training this week?
Not necessarily. I mean, we turn our focus in the last couple of days before the game more to set plays. I think it's really current at the moment. Set plays become more and more, not necessarily important, but more and more of a focus. The data that's provided now is really clear. Of course, my old goalkeeping coach Diego has produced some really good attacking numbers for City this season. But I feel also that we've been a threat from our set plays. Defensively, of course, we shipped one at the weekend, which was a really frustrating one, particularly when it was one of our players that scored it. So, the consistency of the way we train is always fairly consistent, in a sense of we don't over-emphasise set plays. I mean, you can always practice and put all your time in there and maybe end up with not getting many set plays against you or for. So, we try to keep the focus consistent in what we do and prepare in the right way.
And obviously you're looking to get as many points on the board before the end of the season, but I just wonder, are you able to use these last games, kind of last weekend, this weekend, to learn and prep more for that FA Cup semi-final, or are they kind of very much out of your mind?
We know we have two tough league games to finish with. We know we have obviously the Cup semi-final, which is sandwiched in between those games. So, for us, we want to see a reaction from last weekend. That's the focus against City. And after that, once this game is put to bed, then we'll change the balls that we use for training back to the FA Cup ones, and we'll focus on trying our very best to get to Wembley. But it's exciting, and I think that these last couple of games, when you look at our games against these teams, so City and Arsenal earlier in the year, they looked very different. The score lines were fairly close, probably looked closer than actually what the reality of the game was. So I think they're always a good marker for us to see where we're at, see where we need to improve for sure.
And I have to ask, sometimes football throws up narratives, and the chance that you could be on the sideline potentially causing an upset to Manchester City's title runs. How is that going to feel standing on the touchline on the other side?
It'd probably feel a bit strange. I think that of course I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing a few faces that I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to, so that will be nice. I have a lot of time for a lot of people there, and particularly many of the players. I mean, they were a credit to work with, likes of Hempo, Mary Fowler, Viv, Layla. They're just incredible personalities to work with, and I have to give a special mention to Laura Coombs. I think that she's been a great ambassador for both Manchester City and also for us at Liverpool. She's such a good player, such a good professional. She's given a lot to all of the teams that she's represented, and like I say, outside of being a very, very good footballer, who got to experience playing at a World Cup finals, which she truly deserved. She's also a top person, and I know she's really well thought of by everyone at City, and certainly well thought of by myself.
Lovely, thank you. Well, best of luck for the weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rach. We've got Chloe Shields from Her Game Her Way. Chloe, anything from you?
Hi, Gareth. Just one question. Liverpool have a bit of a run of upsetting the title race. Is that something you've sort of been considering within the camp this week?
I don't think there's been any additional conversation that we've had. I mean, it is kind of we'll have a say in it for sure. Of course, with these two games, I'm pretty certain that City would have liked to have had the job done a little bit earlier, and it certainly looked like that was going to be the case. But yeah, Arsenal have been pretty consistent. The thing that Arsenal will and probably have struggled with, and where I think City have favoured this season, is no Champions League for City. I think the strain that puts on a squad, and of course City have a very good squad, probably a squad that could compete in the Champions League, but they don't have that, so they have that luxury of just preparing for one competition. And I think if you look at Arsenal's situation, they've got pretty much a game every 3 days, so it's a tough run-in. Sometimes that can be really helpful. And yeah, of course, we know that our games are going to be pivotal in where this title is going to go. So I think it's one game at a time for us. We're not focusing on Arsenal, we're not focusing on Brighton. We're really focusing on this game at the weekend first.
Thank you, best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chloe. We'll finish off just with Steve Hunter from LiverpoolFC.com. Steve?
Just one for me, Gaz, mate. A player you know very well, Bunny Shaw, one of the most feared strikers in Europe. I mean, how do you stop her? Do you have to do sort of anything specific in training in the build-up?
I'm not going to give too much away, Steve. What I will do is go with you on obviously how well Bunny Shaw has done. I think when I was at the club and we decided to bring her to the club, she come from an unfashionable French team, but outscored all of the major strikers in France. And yeah, took some time to bed in. And the first season had competition with Ellen White, who was kind of coming to the end of her career. And she learned a lot, and I feel that her performances and her numbers have just been exceptional. They really are. She's a real good character to get to know. She has a very good team around her. I think a good team of players. When you think of some of the wingers that have played over the years, of her accumulating those goals. So she recognises that. But yeah, it's a force to play against for certain. And I think against Liverpool over the years has not been too pretty, certainly for Liverpool. So we're looking to put that right. But regardless of what happens at the weekend, if we can keep Bunny quiet, fantastic. The accolades and the awards that she receives and the praise she receives is really fully deserved because she's worked so hard.
Thanks so much, top man. All the best.
Cheers, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. That finishes us up for today, everyone. Thank you very much for coming on, and enjoy your football wherever you are this weekend. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Guys.